a Playlyst original.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast,
where we review the pilot episodes of TV shows to answer your question, should I watch this?
My name is Mitu.
And my name is BJ.
And this week, we're watching the listener-requested The OC, now available on Hulu.
So stay tuned to find out which teenage character Mitu would have been friends with if she went to high school in the OC.
Yeah, we'll find out. Why don't you tell us what happened in this universe before we get into that?
Sure. Ryan, played by Ben McKenzie, is a teenager from the wrong side of the Chino tracks and finds himself in well-to-do Newport Beach, an enclave of Southern California's Orange County. Taken in by a lawyer and his family, Ryan winds up in the midst of snarky, wealthy high schoolers and their sun-drenched angst.
Ooh, sun-drenched angst. Come on, poet.
Thank you. Not my words.
Oh, it's like not BJ Robert Frost.
So me too. In this story, we're introduced to Ryan. We're introduced to the Cohen family, the Cooper family. And we have teenagers, love, drama, partying. As I watched this, I thought, these are all things Mitu wants to see in a drama.
100%. I had never seen The OC before, so our very good friend recommended that we watch this. Very sorry to our listeners. That does mean I jumped this in the line for shows to review. But I think part of the reason why I had never seen it before is because when I was a kid, I thought I was maybe above stories like this. I'm not sure. It's like I'm too busy watching adult comedies to spend time watching teen dramas. When in reality, to paraphrase the Bible here, when I was a child, I thought as a child, and now I'm a woman, and I understand. I love children's dramas. This is so good. It's very, very soapy. It's right up my alley. And I understand why my friend was so surprised that I had never seen an episode of it, because it's fire.
Well, I did see it when it was airing on TV. I didn't watch it regularly, but I definitely remember catching a few episodes. And I think soap opera is a really good description of this because it's very dramatic. There's a lot of complex relationships that are evolving. And I think in this pilot episode, they do a great job of bringing us into this Newport Beach society through Ryan, who's learning about these families at the same time we are as the viewer.
Yes, 100%. I think that is such a smart way of doing it, of having him interact with Sandy, played by the King, Peter Gallagher, as his public defender who brings him home. The way he interacts with, I guess, kind of his brother now, Seth, Sandy's son, played by Adam Brody, and his neighbor Marissa, played by It Girl, Misha Barton. So we see his view into this world, into these characters that we highlight, but also how they interact with each other, how they interact with more people that we meet. Obviously, we meet the legend Rachel Bilson in this first episode as well, very briefly. And so I thought that was a smart way to do it because it can get overwhelming to have multiple fancy families in this neighborhood with all this intertwined drama in the homes, between the homes. We even have some possible latent love between a couple people's parents even. And we see all of it through him, so it kind of made it neat.
Yes, it was easy to follow and very engaging. And how about we walk through some of those relationships that we see through Ryan that, at least to me, were the most compelling, starting with Sandy Cohen, who took on this fatherly uncle-like role, bringing Ryan in, which I get why his wife, Kirsten, played by Kelly Rowan, was a little upset that this guy who just got in trouble for stealing a car is now living in her home.
Yes, I understood Kirsten, justice for Kirsten, because her husband was like, when we were 22, we never said we'd live like your parents. And she was like, yeah, I was 22. Now I'm an adult woman in a nice home, thanks to my parents. And for whatever reason, I married a man from the Bronx who's obsessed with that, even though we're in the fanciest part of California right now, and we're not acting like it. And now you bring this possible ne'er-do-well around my nerdy child, and I find them waking up in the pool house with matching black eyes. What am I to think?
But now Seth has a friend.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see the dynamic between Seth and Ryan that Seth really needed Ryan.
Yes, Seth was kind of a loner, a little bit of an outcast, and Ryan has that combination of a cool guy personality, but also not caring about any of these rich kids. So he's willing to go out there, go to a party, talk to Marissa, talk to Summer, and that's going to get, hopefully, Seth to have some more confidence or at least make some more friends.
The other family I'm interested in is Marissa's family. We definitely have a possible financial crimes situation with her daddy. I have in my notes, Marissa daddy finna go to prison.
He looks nervous all episode.
We were both nervous. Every time he was gasping, nervous, walls are closing in, I felt the same way on my couch.
And it doesn't seem like Marissa, her mom, or her sister are aware of what's happening.
No, they are in the dark here, which is interesting. And I would say that this show feels very 2000s in a way that excuses how in the dark they are. I feel like in a more modern show, there would be less of like, as the wife, I don't know anything about the finances or even the kids. Like, we don't even talk about these things. Whereas because this show is so culturally 2000s, you don't question it at all. There's even a moment in the very beginning where Ryan meets Sandy, and Ryan is like, well, I don't know if I'm going to work a job because Social Security is going to run out by 2025. Like, it just really feels like 2000s. And honestly, Ryan, your third eye was open.
Yeah, that hurts to hear.
Your third eye was wide open on that one, sir.
We're all working to 80.
Mm-hmm. And I liked how 2000s all the socializing felt.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, some of it was a bit regressive. There were some like jokes and terms used that definitely would not be on television today.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was also just a lot of like 25-year-olds playing teenagers, being oddly mean to each other in a very funny way. Like, I just don't think, and I don't want to downplay bullying as a concept. You could not wear business casual beachwear like a button-up and board shorts and a tie and a blazer and beat me up.
I see. It did oddly escalate.
When that frat boy, which I say frat boy, he's playing a high schooler. Obviously, he was like our age playing this role, but he's in a button-down.
They just had a gala.
Board shorts.
And
frosted
casual.
tips. Punches a guy and he goes, welcome to the OC. This is how it's done in Orange County. I'm sorry, I've literally never been in a physical fight in my life, and I know I'd beat that one. I would win that fight. You're not going to wear a blazer like you're going to a weekend debate tournament or a bar mitzvah or somebody's wedding and then fight me. And on the bottom, board shorts.
Sounds like you're from Chino, because in the OC, that's how things are done.
Yeah, I guess maybe culturally I'm a little bit more Chino in this situation. Because you're not going to go sailing on the weekend and be on the water polo team and then beat me up.
And it also felt 2000s at that party with how everyone was behaving while drunk.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays when you do get that drinking and partying, it's a lot more people being high, euphoric, and like making bad decisions.
Yeah.
Here it's like, oh, alcohol is a downer and you'll just plop right over.
There is a point where I wrote in my notes, Ryan is just collecting bodies and putting people to bed. Like, there's just a part of the evening where he just collects drunk people and puts them to bed. And that is his function. Like, he is finding and gathering human beings to put them on soft landings to sleep.
Literally tucking them in.
Yeah. That was very funny to me. And then the other part that felt very 2000s, but in a very sweet way, was when Ryan was, finding the end of his time possibly in the Cohen home. And instead of giving him money or something that would be helpful, Seth gives him a map. It's basically like, oh, the places you'll go. Because initially when I saw the kind of greenish paper, I was like, wow, he's giving him like a stack of money.
Oh, I was not expecting money.
He was like, in case you need ideas on where to go. Like, buddy, I know the countries in the world. I scored 98 percentile on SAT. I need money to get to these places.
And between the two of them, only one owns a boat.
Yeah. Brother, sail me to where you have circled on this map. Let's make something shake here. That cracked me up. And then the last 2000s thing for me was I wrote in my notes in all caps, this music knocks. Like, it's so good. The soundtrack was fire.
It's the hit songs of the day.
Yeah.
And I think last thing we should touch on, as with all teen dramas, they hint at romance.
Mm-hmm.
And we see from the start, everyone is looking at Ryan. He goes to an event, not just the teenage girls, but also adult women are looking at Ryan.
Adult women, adults. And I know that the actor was like 25, but the character is a child.
Mm-hmm.
He's like 16, 17, I think, as the character.
But he's not engaging. He has maybe his eyes on Marissa. He's like feeling that out. And then we see Seth's crush, Summer, also likes Ryan.
Women just can't help themselves in front of Ryan.
Apparently. Irresistible.
He's irresistible. He's Jessica Simpson to these women in this town.
And he doesn't seem to care much at all. Probably for the best.
Yeah, he really is focused on Marissa, on finding housing, which I get, and on finding a soft landing for all of the drunk people he's stumbling across while he's just trying to have a late night cigarette. Also, the smoking. That's another thing.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. Like, you just don't see a lot of people smoking.
Yeah, the casual smoking. That's a big one. And we didn't touch on it much. If you haven't seen the OC, Ryan does come from a tough background. He's kicked out of his home.
Yeah.
So he really has nothing. And it is odd that the thing he ends up with is like a Newport Beach mansion. But, gotta go somewhere.
And a pack of cigarettes in his pocket. And now, a map.
So he can plan where he wants to go next.
Exactly. Oh, the places you'll go.
And that's probably like a map of the world, too.
It was.
So very useful.
It's not like even just roads nearby, things he can access.
No, not an OC map.
On like a whole other side of the planet, if I can remember correctly, the face that was facing up when it was handed to him.
Well, Mitu, now that you finally watched the OC that originally aired on Fox and is now streaming on Hulu, will you watch more episodes?
Absolutely. I look forward to watching again, seriously. For OC Hive, I would say this is worth revisiting. I think sometimes there are shows we love from the 2000s that feel a little uncomfortable for whatever reasons to go back to. This didn't feel like one of those for me. There were moments where I was like, ooh, that wouldn't fly right now. But overall, wonderful, delicious, soapy storytelling with a really good sense of humor. And for non-OC Hive, but teen drama Hive, let's say you only woke up to the power of this genre like me to like a Riverdale or something, you will love this show.
I agree. It was really good. I would maybe watch while doing lunch. I'm not that tempted to do a full rewatch of everything.
Yeah.
But I was pleasantly surprised how good of a pilot episode that was.
It's a really good pilot.
Yeah. And I care about Ryan and these relationships he's building. I want the Coens to give him a chance and support. And I think that's a good sign of a TV show right there.
That's true.
Okay, Mitu. Imagine we're back in, 2003.
Whoa.
You're in high school, even though that's a little off. But
Yeah.
You're in high school in this version of the world. You're also in Orange County, Newport Beach.
Wow. A lot of changes happening. I've aged pretty significantly to be in high school by 2003,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm across the country.
And you're attending the same school as Marissa, Ryan, Seth, Summer. Who are you friends with?
Seth.
Really?
Yeah, pretty immediate choice there. Couple of reasons of why that felt so pressing on my heart. One, he doesn't have any other friends, so I think I would have some sympathetic feeling. Two,
Okay.
to be honest, he was pretty loose with his things, like his video games and stuff, so I feel like, if I ever wanted stuff, I could get stuff from his home. 3, I'm not a ne'er-do-well like Ryan, so I think his parents would enjoy my presence. Like, oh, she probably gets good grades. Like, I assume this is the version of me that was in high school already. Like,
You
a
get
nerd.
to choose, yeah.
So I think that like his family would like my approach to school. So that means like I'm getting invited to events, I'm getting to network, and
Okay.
Seth's like a generally nice guy, but I think we would both get a lot out of the engagement. I feel like Marissa would be fun to be friends with, but that money will run dry when her daddy goes to prison.
Okay, so you're with Seth, you keep him company, and you get perks out of it.
Yeah.
And you party with Marissa until the well runs dry.
No, I wouldn't.
Or
I'm
hang with
locked
her.
in.
You get froyo.
I would have considered it, but unfortunately, I'm just fully locked in on Seth. Now, if we're hanging out with other people, then I'll hang out with Marissa because she seems fun.
Okay.
But, she won't be able to have new purses for long.
A little materialistic, but that's the OC.
Well, I'm trying to figure out what else I'm getting out of this world.
I don't know. It seems like you figured it out.
I don't know that I would have like a friendship connection with any of these people. It's also hard to understand because I'm so fully an adult now. But if I were to even try to put myself in the shoes of a teenager in California at that time, it would be hard to think of wanting to socialize with any of them because they're so different from how I was when I was a kid, except for Seth.
And there you go. You found your connection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you want to listen to more of our reviews, you can head to our website at thepilotpodcast.com, and you can follow us on all of your favorite podcast platforms.
You can also follow us on social media at The Pilot Pod, and you can send thoughts, feelings, show recommendations. We promise to go back to the list as normal to askthepilotpodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Bye.